I feel like with these questions, it's getting, harder and harder to unpack some of this stuff, man. It is. This one right here is this one's different. This one is sensitive. This one is important. Yeah. So from the optics from when they played against the Bills, when you saw him get back up off of that hit, and you saw him try to run back towards the huddle and woozy and stumbling, and they took him to the locker room. They deemed it was a back injury, so that's the reason why he came back out there. Like, of course, the player wants to play, right? Of course. So this is one of those. This is one of those, man, where even in my line of profession, I have to protect the person from themselves. And
Right.
So, and I feel like this qualifies as that, even though the quote unquote protocol, is not concussion protocol from that. And even though the player, of course, wants to play because that's just the competitive nature of players, that's, they want to play the game they love. But I feel like people in higher positions and positions of importance, medical positions, I feel like they have a responsibility to protect somebody from themselves when they know that something's not right. Like, if I can see it through my TV, thousands, hundreds of miles away, that something doesn't look right, and then you turn around and play the guy 4 days later because it's a short week. I mean, and then the ultimate worst case scenario happened, which we saw. That it's like, I mean, it's more than a oops. I mean, at this point, you're being reactive instead of proactive. You had the opportunity to be proactive, you didn't do it, and now, of course, Miami Dolphins are going to be under some PR scrutiny. Of course, the NFL itself is going to be under some scrutiny. The NFLPA is, doing an investigation that may take up to 2 weeks. Now, I understand that part. Like, how does it take up to 2 weeks? If that's the case, I mean, the Miami Dolphins play another game before a 2 weeks period. So it's just all in shambles, man. It doesn't. Somebody dropped the ball big time. Big time.
Are you saying within the Miami Dolphins organization?
Of course. I mean, the NFL, I'll leave that for question number 2, but for this question, I mean, yeah, of course. The Dolphins, I feel like Dolphins just can't get right as far as some of these decisions that they have been making in the last, year or so. I don't know. Maybe that's ownership. Ownership been under scrutiny too. So it's either way, man, they failed to it.
Yeah. How did it look for you, bro, when he was on the ground, and you saw like his hands and stuff in the air? Like, was that a scary feeling for you?
Dude, I was scared. I was scared for him. I'm like, bro, I feel like no, person, human being, adult should be looking like that after a hit. That's scary.
Especially for a guy his size. Ian, your thoughts, bro?
Watching it live, I kind of caught a glimpse of the hit, but I wasn't really paying attention to the play. And then, I saw him on the ground. I was just like, oh man, Tua hurt. But then, they replayed, the play, and I'm saying like a bad hit. I was like, oh, the way that he fell, and then it seemed like his back and the back of his head and his elbow kind of hit the ground at the same time. And like you say, you see his hands go into just kind of freeze up. Like he can't even, he doesn't even have control anymore. I was like, wow. And then it makes you think, from, last week, that didn't look good last week with him playing with the Bills. He gets up from a hit. He just stumbles like he's drunk. Like he just stumbles like he's drunk. Like he don't even know where he's at. So, that don't look good. And then, 4 days later, this happened. And now they're trying to claim that, it wasn't a head injury. It was a back injury. And I mean, they're both connected to each other. So I kind of feel like that's kind of BS. Just to save them the backlash from him still playing, but I'll even flip it, like as Jamar said, I feel like they have a duty to make sure that the players are okay. But I know they also have a duty to make sure that those players play, because they're trying to sell tickets. I mean, you got to look at it. The Dolphins are 3-0. I know they were looking for like we probably have a good team now, and we got to keep this going. We're playing against a team that was in the Super Bowl last year, prime TV.
And then wasn't Tua Tagovailoa trying to get the bag, y'all, after the season when he trying to get the bag?
Of course.
Yeah. I mean, he's third, fourth year, going to the third or fourth year. So it's about that time to re-up real soon, and I think a lot of everything we're saying plays into that, and it didn't look good, and now with him getting hurt like that back to back, well, I wouldn't even say weeks, in a matter of 4 to 5 days, it makes the NFL concussion protocol look real bad. It makes it look real bad.
Real bad.
Yeah. So now it makes it seem like protocol was just where are you? Can you see me? How many numbers I got up? What team do you play for? Who's your mom? What's the score? And okay, you can go back and play. Like that's not safe, because any real athlete or any real ball player is going to want to play, regardless if they're hurt or not. So it makes it look real bad, and I'm sure they're going to go into investigation, and this is going to be a thing. And it doesn't look, like you said, it doesn't look good for football, like in the future. It doesn't look good at all. With all the new helmets and new technology they got, it don't look good at all. I'm glad he's okay. I think he should be out just on the safe side for the next 2 weeks, maybe, but that didn't look good. From that happening last Sunday until Thursday, that didn't look good. That didn't look good at all.
Right. I'm learning. Wait, time out. So Ian, and Jamar, Anthony, good morning, bro. Anthony mentioned a lawsuit. And then additionally, Ian, you stated that he could be out for only a couple weeks. That's it?
I said he should be on the safe side.
Okay. What is the timetable of Jamar for him? Do you guys have an idea?
Just I guess whenever he clears.
Yeah, now it's a kind of a gray area, because he was so-called clear last week, and I mean he gets hit. It wasn't even like a real vicious hit, to be honest. It was just like a normal, kind of stack. That's why it kind of threw me for a loop. I was like, what's wrong? And then showed the replay. I was like, oh. And then he did have a concussion, a slight concussion last week. So it's kind of a gray area. It's like, well, if he clears, now it's almost like they're going to be kind of scared to play him now, because what if he, gets hurt again?
Right. And so if a lawsuit was to happen, y'all, excuse me for being dumb here, but who would it be against? Like, would it be Tua Tagovailoa suing the Dolphins, or would it be
Probably
his family suing the Dolphins? Like, I don't know.
Probably the Dolphins and the NFL.
Yeah, it'll be both.
I mean, like the reason why he was able to come back in the game on Sunday against the Bills, because they deemed it a back injury and not him entering concussion protocol, even though we all saw his head snap back and hit the ground off that hit.
Yeah.
They deemed it a back injury.
Right. And so, Anthony Walsh stated Dolphins and leagues and doctors. And so, that sounds like a hefty freaking lawsuit, if that was to occur indeed. Big money involved in that. Man, y'all know what? I'm just a little beat up from this, because you know why? Like, I was looking forward to Tua Tagovailoa and that talented Dolphins team going up against the Bills. And I was just saying this, Shamar, in my head. I'm sitting here watching the game the other day, and I'm saying to myself, like, I know the Bills lost, but they really got the better team. Like, they just made a lot of mistakes. Their kicker was messing up in the whole game. Like, it was some things that if the whole team was just well rounded in that aspect, special teams really lost them the game. Let's put it that way. And so like sometimes you can't control special teams, no matter how good of a team you have. And so, but I'm sitting there watching, and I'm saying like, man, the Bills. I think they're gonna get them next time. They're gonna be itching to get them, like itching to get them. Because they was in the red zone multiple times, as you guys remember. They just, shout out to the Dolphins defense. Don't get me wrong. But the Bills worked their way all the way down there. Second time, obviously, they ran out of time. And the first time, it was just an unfortunate 4th and goal. They got stood up. But sitting there watching, and I'm saying these things. And so I don't know, man. It looks like, from the injury, it looks like he'll be out for the season. But if he was to come back, it'd be a miracle. If he come back at the same time, you'll be still like questioning the doctors, like, after all this done happened, are we sure he should be back?
Right. So, that's what I'm saying. It's a real gray area, because now, what if he does really clear protocol? Is like, what do we do now? Do we let him play? Do we not let him play? They're the top of their division, so it's kind of like that could potentially ruin their season.
True. Yeah. So I ask you guys this. Guys, where do the Dolphins go from here? Where do the Dolphins go from here, Jamar? And are the Miami Dolphins in some serious trouble here, or will there still be a good football team with Teddy Pendergrass?
Check down Teddy. Oh man. Look, this is what happens when you're reactive instead of proactive. You have to deal with the mess that you created, the bid that you made, the basically all of it. You got to deal with it. So I don't know, like Ian said, it's a bunch of gray area now. It's like I feel like there's a lot of level of uncertainty of what is going to happen. Like, look, like for instance, Sidney Crosby, NHL player for the Pittsburgh Penguins. Sid the Kid, marvelous player, but that man has been concussed about a good 5, 6, 7 times his whole career, to the fact that he even missed the season because of concussions. And he's still out there playing. So, concussions and, brain injuries affect, each of us differently. So it's just, man, bro, it just depends. I don't know what the Dolphins do from here. From a PR standpoint, they probably should sit Tua out indefinitely until they really figure that out, and check down Teddy. Just gonna have to come in the game and not do too many check downs, actually win games for them, because they actually have a good record, have a good team.
They have a good team, bro. They got a really good damn team. I'm sitting there looking at them. They are well rounded, Jamar, as a team.
Yeah, they are, and basically the only question mark that we had coming to the season was Tua. And Tua has showed, like, through the games that he has played, he can get it done. Like, that accuracy that Tyreek Hill was talking about, like, Patrick Mahomes has a bigger arm, but Tua is more accurate. We all laughed at it at first, but I was looking at him making some of these throws, like, maybe he wasn't as crazy as we thought on that. So, Tua was proving himself to get the bag.
Proving himself for sure.
Some people, like Anthony just said here, like, quote, if I were him after rewatching that, I call it a career. What if Tua decides to retire to save himself? But I'm assuming that's including, making sure you get the bag from the lawsuit there. But nevertheless, dude, I don't know what the Dolphins do. I just know this right here is not going away anytime soon at all.
Wow, so you think this isn't going anyway anytime soon? This is going this is the beginning of something that's going to be major.
Yeah, because they about to be made an example of. Like, an example is about to be made here. with this whole concussion, player safety. I mean, you mentioned it earlier, like kids may not, parents may not allow kids. I mean, to begin with, football in general, parents were feeling that way, not allowing kids to, play football like that anymore. And this here just, I'm pretty sure it took it to a whole nother level. It was on a national TV game, Thursday prime time. I mean,
right. Everybody named Mama watching and eating steak sandwiches.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's what I was doing.
this guy with the ocean view right behind you.
You're right.
I'm sitting there eating my steak sandwich, bro. I'm like, damn, this is sad. Like,
Yeah, it's crazy. Like, and now it's going to be a change. I mean, obviously, probably not right now. It could be right now. It's going to be a change in the concussion protocol. So I believe probably after this, if you even so much as look like you have a concussion, I don't think they're going to let anybody back in the game after this, no matter who you are. Whether that happens this year,
I see your point.
whether that happens this year or next year, but there's going to be a change in protocol for sure, ASAP.
Facts.
Yep. Well, all right. Well, that covers this sad situation with the Dolphins. We will see what exactly will happen with this team. And so, best of luck and health to Tua Tagovailoa, and we'll just see how the Dolphins look. But let's do overreaction, guys. An overreaction here on the Early Morning Sports Talk podcast is exactly what it sounds like. We asked a question, and it's approved by Ian and Jamar, and we just state, all right, is this an overreaction to think this? And so I just kind of asked the question, but I need to reiterate it, guys. Are the Miami Dolphins toast going forward without Tua Tagovailoa at quarterback for this team? Am I overreacting if I ask this question?
No, you're not. And it's because, I mean, I give the name Check Down Teddy. It's just what it is. I mean, in order for the Dolphins team to go, it goes by the quarterback at this point. Tua, who doesn't have the biggest arm in the world, his accuracy, still made this offense tick. Not saying that Teddy can't be there, but I mean, dude, Tua's accuracy compared to Teddy's accuracy is night and day. I check down Teddy with a bunch of speeds. I don't see it. So it's not an overreaction to me. I don't see it.
I would say, go ahead.
I was just asking, what about you? Your thoughts?
No, I mean, I agree with Jamar. I don't think it's an overreaction, but I do also feel like Teddy Bridgewater can get the job done. I mean, such a short notice, I would guess. I don't think he, that's why they say you always got to stay ready. I don't think he is expecting possibly start the rest of the season. Who knows from right now? But my main concern with them going down the road, if Tua doesn't come back, how is them throwing the ball down the field? But
right.
Other than that, I think they should be fine.
Right. I mean, Teddy Bridgewater threw a nice bomb to Tyreek Hill for 64 yards. That was a nice catch to watch. And they was in the game. They could have won the game, actually. Just a few X's and O's, but Cincinnati, I think they just happen to be playing the Bengals, who we think is a pretty decent team. So, voila, we'll see how this team goes going forward. However, all right, we covering other teams now, guys. Is it an overreaction to think that the Philadelphia Eagles are the best team in football right now?
No, it's not an overreaction, man. Eagles are legit. I mean, it was kind of in the same boat as Miami Dolphins. Like, basically the question mark is the quarterback. Even though we've been believers of Jalen Hurts, but the whole global perception is like, is he that guy? And
Yeah, that's crazy. I don't see how people. Man.
But I'm glad that they did trade for AJ Brown because it unlocked the whole offense. It unlocked Devontae Smith, who has been balling the last 2 weeks, and unlocked Jalen Hurts as a passer to where a lot of those question marks are now out the window now. I mean, I think Philly leads the league in rushing, if not their top three on top of that. So they getting production out of their running backs. Right. The defense is playing exceptional. Big play Slay out there making big plays. I mean, the Eagles are legit. They are. It's definitely not an overreaction if they're the best team in the league. No, not at all.
And your thoughts, bro?
Definitely not an overreaction. Eagles balling. They, like what Jamar said, they look legit. Like Devontae Smith was like Devontae Smith at Alabama again. The AJ Brown pickup might be the best free agent signing of the offseason, as we see in every week. Him and Devontae Smith, they just meshing just well. Like you said, it's unlocking the offense. You see hopefully Miles Sanders stay healthy all year. Right. We're gonna see a healthy dose of him. I even heard Ron Rivera say last week, right before they played the Eagles, that Jalen Hurts kind of reminds me of a young Cam Newton, and I never really paid attention to that. Their playing styles, but he does, and he's MVP talk. I feel like he knocked Josh Allen out MVP talk last week. I feel like it's him and Lamar Jackson right now. I mean, Josh Allen is still there, but you gotta give it to him, man. Jalen Hurts has showed up. Everybody was questioning, whether the Eagles are all in on him or whether he could get the job done. And well, shit, he proven it in these last couple of weeks. Jalen Hurts has been balling.
Yeah, he has, man. Philly looks like a good team. We'll see how they do going forward. One thing about Philly, and Deshaun and yourself, Jamar, pointed this out. They appear to have a pretty nice schedule that's favorable, and so if you put a great team with a schedule like that, we'll see how the Eagles do, man. They could be a force come January, so we'll see. On the other hand, curious, y'all, it's Tom Brady, the quarterback, legend, GOAT. Is he in for a long season with this Tampa Bay Buccaneers offensive line? Is he in for a long season? Because he escaped against New Orleans. Yeah. And then last week they looked abysmal, man, against the Green Bay Packers. The offense just looked terrible. And so just curious, Jamar, is Tom Brady in for a long season? And I hope you say no, because he's 45.
Unfortunately, I'm gonna say yes. He's in for a long season. But this is what we knew this though, right? We knew that the offensive line was completely different from last year. We knew that at least four of them was either retired, traded or signed somewhere else. We knew this. Right. So especially last week, when you have that effect, and I'm sure they're still trying to figure that out, plus the fact that you missing your top three pass catchers as well. I mean, chances are winning against Green Bay, it's kind of slim. But nevertheless, yeah, look, man, a bad offensive line plus a 45-year-old statue, that's not a good combination. It's just not. So if any team can generate a pass rush, especially with their front four consistently to begin with, or going against them, you're gonna have a pretty good chance of beating Tampa Bay. That's just what it is. I mean, you cannot change the fact that he's 45, and even if he wasn't 45, it's 40 times still trash. So he's not gonna be able to move. So you can't fix that. I mean, you can only do so much to offensive line in the middle of the year. So I mean, yeah, I feel like it's gonna be a long season for them.
Yeah, Mm. Do you think that the Bucks, but if Tom Brady not getting no offensive line help, do you still think his greatness will allow them to like still be a good team? Or are we saying that? Because any team that generally right in that can't have an offensive line that block for their quarterback, they generally suck. Especially if you got a statue back there. So are we saying that the Buccaneers are going to be a bad football team, or are we just saying that based off of the standards of Tom Brady and what he's had his entire career offensive line wise, that this won't be a playoff team or this will be. I don't know, man, because we're judging Tom Brady here. He makes something out of nothing. You know what I'm saying? All the time.
Right.
So, right. No, I'm not saying that, they won't make the playoffs or anything like that. I think that they will, but I believe that their ceiling is not as high. Okay. Tom Brady will get the ball out quickly because that's what he does. So I'm pretty sure he can work around that. But once again, the ceiling is not as high as what it could be with a better offensive line.
Right. Gotcha. Yeah. And your thoughts, bro?
I think we're finally starting to see his age catch up with us. So, I know he's played for a long
He's played for a long time, bro. I'm sitting there thinking when he played, we was babies, kids, damn near.
Yeah, grammar school. Like 4th and 5th grade young, and we in our 30s, and he's still playing. That's crazy. I even seen a stat the other day with like all the top quarterbacks with all the interceptions. He's nowhere on that list. I said that's pretty impressive. I said,
I'm telling you, right? For real.
But I do think his age is starting to catch up with him. He did take off for a little scamper against the Packers for about maybe like 12 to 15 yards. I was kind of surprised, but yeah, the O-line is not the best right now. Maybe it's going to take a while for them to gel. It is still early in the season. I do expect for them to make the playoffs, especially in that division. They in a division that's up in the air. Jameis, but like he back to bad Jameis. The first week,
famous Jameis,
he gave us 3 touchdowns in the 4th quarter. The next week against Tampa Bay, he gave us 3 interceptions in the 4th quarter. Then last threw a couple. I'll just throw it down there and see who down there. He gave us a couple of those.
He sure did. This is facts, bro. Yeah. I'm watching the highlights. I'm like, he just threw the damn ball. He said, I don't give a damn who cares.
So, in this division, they'll probably make the playoffs. They're the best team out of the division. The Falcons the Falcons are just the Falcons right now. So they'll probably make the playoffs, but to say that they will win it all, or probably a championship contending team, it's possible, but I don't know as of right now. Plus with the they were injuries, and Mike Evans was suspended. Yeah. Julio Jones, by the way, he's killing me in fantasy because I don't never know he's gonna play. So it's just one of those things, man. If they can finally gel, get healthy, get together on offense, they'll be fine. But as we all know in football, it all starts with the offensive line. I don't care who at quarterback. I don't care who's on the outside. I don't care who's in the backfield. If the O-line ain't right, it's going to be a long season. So, as of right now, no, it's not an overreaction. If they end up gelling, then that would be great. But if they don't, it's going to be a long season, and he can't move. And these pass rushers ain't showing no mercy.
Yeah, they don't, do they? They don't, man. Jonathan, man, good morning, bro.
Yeah, I apologize, fellas.
No, man, it is all good, bro. Thank you for joining us, man.
I had like 4 alarms said, and yeah, it just was not a good night for me.
It is all good. By the way, as y'all see, the Early Morning Sports Talk podcast, you can just jump on. And so, yeah, our brother Jonathan, he just hopped on, man. And so we are grateful that he just hopped on with us, man, and came to chop it up with us. And so, yeah, man, how you doing, bro? You good?
Yeah, we're good. We're good. How's
Yes,
everybody
sir.
doing?
Pretty
Yeah.
good.
So just
Good.
just a heads up. We talked about the Miami Dolphins situation, man, and so I just want to put you on the spot, Jonathan. Um, what do you think is going to happen with the Dolphins for the rest of this season? If let's say hypothetically, which is looking like it's likely that Tua Tagovailoa will not be behind center. Unfortunately, and Jamar, by the way, Jonathan, they broke it down for us. They basically stated that this man was trying to get the bag, things in that nature. So he was out there, trying to secure the future of his family. But then again, right? You see what happened with the injury, and then you question, like, why the hell was he out there? Then also, right, you put yourself in the shoes of like kids who watching the NFL and they seeing this happen, and then the mother's watching with them too, Jonathan. And they're like, I want my kid playing that game. And so I'm just curious, bro. Like, how do you think the Dolphins will, because they was a good team, bro. Like they
Yeah.
really good team. And we was looking forward to seeing them and the Bills go at it. But now with Teddy, Jamar called him check down Teddy. Is check down Teddy gonna lead the Dolphins to being a good team?
No.
Or what you think?
No.
Oh,
He has been a complete failure in every team he's been to. He's been nothing but a survivalist backup.
right.
At the same time, it was completely foolish to put Tua out there to play this game on 4 days after a concussion. It was cause for nothing but negligence on the Dolphins side. And I don't think it was just Tua. Yeah, as a competitor, you want to be out there. You want to go out there and try your best to get your team W. But at the same time, he should have been benched and given that extra week to rest. I understand from his side point and the management side point that, like, hey, he's going to have 10 days to rest. But at that point, anything is unpredictable. You can't guarantee he's not going to go out there and get hit.
Yeah.
The slightest bump from your own alignment getting pushed into you could have made it worse. So now you're at that point where you should have given him that week off. Screw the game. Yes, it's the Bengals. Yes, it's going to be a potential playoff opponent, but it's too early in the season to worry about that situation. Now you're worried about the health. And now with him possibly having the second concussion 4 days apart, now you're looking at losing your quarterback 4 to 6 weeks.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was complete negligence. I don't think they're going to be a potential in the next 4 to 6 weeks with Teddy leading them. I don't think they're going to be like, hey, yeah, now we're 8-1.
Right.
I think if Tua does come back in the regular season, it'll have to be before week 10 for them to stand a chance at making the playoffs.
All right.
Right. Wow. Soon as you jumped on, Jonathan, our views went up like, and on top of that, your analysis is, man, I mean, it's accurate, bro. Like, yeah, you got a strong voice. It's great. Yeah, man. Wow. And so do you feel like the Dolphins, do you feel like they were negligent in putting him out there? And additionally, do you think that it's a possibility that lawsuits and things can go legal in this situation? Because Anthony
it definitely will. It definitely will. If it's got long-term remaining injuries and things that are going to affect his health long-term, there will be lawsuits. And it's at this point, it doesn't matter if Tua was saying, oh, I want to go, I'm ready. Like, it doesn't matter if he was faking the concussions or anything. They have concussion protocols in place for things like that. Yeah. And then for the Dolphins to turn around and try to claim that it was a neck and back injury.
Yeah.
Come on. Everybody who watches knows he was out on his feet Sunday.
Yeah.
We see it in UFC. We see it in so many other sports. We see it in baseball when a player gets hit in his head by a baseball. Mm-hmm. There's still moments where you're not really cognizant, but you still have motion and control of your motion. And then you see, like I said, when Tua fell to his feet, or fell on Sunday when he first got hit. That alone should have been gone.
Yeah.
Right,
He
exactly.
should have been taken
Facts,
to the
bro.
hospital. He should have been benched for at least the next game. You don't sit there and play with that. It's different if you go to the hospital and he's coherent. He's no headaches. He's consistent in practice. But I mean, even the first half, he was struggling in the game against the Bengals. And then
Right.
when he got hit, it was just downhill.
Right. Mm.
So I do believe there will be lawsuits forming if and only if he doesn't come back the way he was. I believe there will be lawsuits to the point where at this point, the training staff for the Dolphins, there's nothing they can do to avoid a lawsuit right now. The NFL will come for them. The Players Association will come for them.
Right.
And that's more so just putting him back into the game Sunday.
Right.
So
Wow. So wow. I think you all three of you guys just stated that this could turn very ugly. This sound like this is the beginning of something that's gonna like be an example.
For sure.
Yeah.
Like this sound like this gonna be like, all right, we're gonna use this as an example or to prevent this from happening again. And so, man, yeah, it was scary. It was scary, Jonathan, to watch it, man. I'm sitting there watching, bro, and his fingers is just there, and they not like he not moving his fingers. I'm like, oh, like some, like very eerie, man. And so, yeah, we will see how things turn out with this situation, guys. And so, yes, let's continue our overreactions. And so we were just talking about Tom Brady and the Buccaneers offensive line, Jonathan. And so just curious, bro, is Tom Brady in for a long season with what happened this offseason with this offensive line? Do you think that Mr. 45-year-old Tom Brady is in for a long season? And I hope you say no because he's 45.
honestly, no. I mean, Tom's had some quite a long seasons, but even though he's just got Thursdays and or Wednesdays and Thursdays off now, I believe they are going to come to a point where they're going to have to make a trade for the line. They're going to have to. But at the same instance, Tom has always been known to adjust quick releases, quick passes, and be able to get down the field, whether it's his running back, whether it's his receivers. And I believe that at some point they will try to get somebody else for a line in the trade before the trade deadline. But it is going to be a slow start.
Yeah.
And the fact that they even started, what are they now? 2-1, 3-1?
2-1.
Yeah, so 2-1. The fact that they're even 2-1 right now is shocking because they've played some horrible games. Everybody in the NFL has played some horrible games, but at the same time, the fact that they're 2-1 in a division that is honestly quite sad, getting to the playoffs isn't going to be the issue. So they have another 15 weeks to get it right.
Right. Yeah, they got a long season ahead of them. So yeah, we'll see, man. But yeah, you guys on the Jamar stated that they're in for a long season, but not based off of the standards of Tampa Bay Tom Brady in his career. And so sounds like this Buccaneers team will still be a playoff team according to all of you guys, but it just won't be that those teams that we've seen with the Patriots and the Buccaneers, where they winning a whole bunch of games and a serious Super Bowl threat. So I agree with you guys. I don't know if this Buccaneers team is a true Super Bowl threat because they have looked abysmal offensively for their first 3 games. Their defense has been holding them down.
But I mean, what is a viable Super Bowl threat anymore? The Bengals, who's getting sacked nine times a game last year and getting picked off 3 times a game, 2 times a game. I mean, they made the Super Bowl.
This is facts. This is facts.
I mean,
this is facts.
Football isn't the same as what we used to know it. I mean, you used to be able to start the season and as long as the team was healthy, we used to be able to call out what teams were going to make the Super Bowl.
Yep.
Right. Yeah.
So, I mean, like I said, I think you give them some time. They're not in threat of losing the division.
Yeah.
Nobody's really going to be to that point in that division to compete with them.
Right. And
I
by
mean,
the way, guys, I don't like this Baker Mayfield slander. Baker Mayfield is in the division, all right? With Baker Mayfield, anything is possible. All right, I'm sorry. Let's move on. All right. Let's move on now to the next reaction. Jamar.
I'm not even going to lie
Hey,
to you.
man.
I forget that Baker Mayfield's even in the league right now.
Get your
Hey,
boy,
bro, he
Jamar.
on a revenge
Jamar, get
tour
your
right
boy,
now.
Jamar.
He's on a revenge tour. Like,
Get your boy, Jamar. About to go
Hey,
shut the car on him.
Oh man.
yeah,
Oh,
man.
wow.
Hey, man, Baker Mayfield is on a tear this year, y'all. He want to get everybody. He is angry at everybody, okay? So y'all better watch out, man. All right. Let's now move on, fellas, to the next overreaction. Guys, the Las Vegas Raiders, they are 0-3, Jamar. They are 0-3. I didn't expect this from this talented team on paper. And so I'm curious to know, Jamar. You go and then Ian and then Jonathan, you chime in next. Is it an overreaction to think that the 0-3 Las Vegas Raiders will rebound? Is it an overreaction? And if you guys want, we can take a look at their schedule to, so that nobody's like super lost and things of that nature. And so, is this an overreaction, Jamar?
This one here. Like I'm struggling with this one just because for two reasons. One, yeah, their record is what their record is. They're 0-3, right? I mean, they have 0 wins on the season. 0.
Right. 0. And they play Russell Wilson tomorrow.
Is that really saying too much right now?
If they're playing Russell Wilson tomorrow and then Patrick Mahomes the following Sunday.
Smoked by Pat.
So you got Russ, and then next week you got Patrick Mahomes. And so
look, I'm struggling. I am like literally struggling with this one because all of these teams in this division are having their struggles. One way, shape, or form, they all are. I mean, the Raiders could easily be 2-1. They could easily be looking like the Broncos right now. And the Broncos are 2-1, and they could be easily 0-3 right now. I honestly, I don't know. But I will say this much. If the Raiders are to rebound, it has to be within their own division at this point. Because I feel like if you look at other divisions, depending on the Miami Dolphins situation, I mean, Miami looks like a real team when Tua's out there. Buffalo, we know looked like the better team when they played. They just, quote unquote, ran out of time. They shot their own selves in the foot. Lamar Jackson is on a mission this year for obvious reasons. Cincinnati looked like they turned the corner here a little bit. I mean, you have viable teams out there in other divisions to where the wild card that we thought it was with this division may not be there. So therefore, if they're going to turn it around, it has to be within these division games right now. So that's why I don't know. I don't know. I just know these next two here are very, very vital to their season.
very, very vital. And it just so happened you playing 2 great quarterbacks. Ooh. Yeah, but at least they get a bye week 6, Sean. Then they play Houston, Texas, and Davis Mills. And so that might be an opportunity to rebound,
You would think.
Not this year.
Ian, your thoughts, bro?
Tough. I think it comes to the Raiders. I think it comes down to coaching. I don't think they have all the talent in the world. I just think it simply comes down to coaching. I think Josh McDaniels is probably trying to instill like the Patriot way, and I don't think that's going to work in this scenario. I mean, typically he hasn't been a very good head coach.
This is true. This is a very good point, Jamar. We think about it. Josh McDaniels, they ain't really won much in the NFL.
He sucked.
Yeah,
He
so
has
I mean,
not won much.
and I mean, rightfully so. There's nothing wrong. I mean, every coach is not a head coach. I think
Right. Yeah.
I think that's a big part to play in it. I mean, his team is talented from top to bottom. There's no reason they should be 0-3. You have the best receiver in the game, arguably top 3, top 4, top 5 tight end. Have a tremendous running back. They have a pretty decent young defense.
Yeah.
There's no
Guys
reason.
fast.
Yeah, there shouldn't be no reason these guys are not getting the job done. I know they lost to the Cardinals. That on a comeback win, that's just coaching and that's effort. Devontae Adams gets shut down for 2 catches and 1 touchdown, and then they lose to the Titans. I mean, that just comes to me. It's coaching more than anything. I don't think it's coaching and the culture. So he got to get it done. I mean, because this is and it's not going to get any easier. They're arguably in the toughest division in football on paper. So.
Right, and they're in Las Vegas, bro. Like, this is very tough.
Yeah, it's not going to get any easier. So they're in for a long ride if they don't get it together. So.
Yeah, man. Yep. Coaching, that's very interesting, man. And yeah, and also they're in Vegas too. It's a lot of distractions in Vegas. And so you got a lot going on there, man. Jonathan, your thoughts, bro. Is it an overreaction to think that the 0-3 Las Vegas Raiders will rebound? What do you think though? Will they rebound? Will they not?
I think they will be a potential wild card team, but they need to turn it around now. I think between this week and next week, they will be 1-4. They're gonna squeak past the Broncos, which
not saying much.
Yeah, I mean, it's not saying much, but as Jones had said, it all starts with coaching.
Right.
McDaniels has always been a horrible head coach.
Right.
He's a hell of a coordinator.
Right. Exactly.
He's always been a horrible head coach.
Right.
Yep.
And they're not using Devontae Adams the right way.
Right.
Devontae Adams used to streak all day for Aaron Rodgers.
Right.
But I think as time moves along, we're starting to more so see the Aaron Rodgers effect on top of that.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Derek Carr is a hell of a quarterback.
But he ain't Aaron Rodgers.
He ain't
but
Aaron
he
Rodgers.
isn't Aaron
Yeah.
Rodgers. Yes.
Come on, bro. Come on.
I mean, let's look at Devontae's stats, though. 17 receptions for only 189 yards. For 17 receptions with Aaron Rodgers, he'd be sitting at about 300 right now with 4 or 5 touchdowns.
Yeah.
I mean,
Sounds all right.
Where's the lie?
they're being outrushed by 30 yards in a game so far. So their defense is getting ate alive. They're being out turnovered. So as you guys have stated in previous weeks, in the NFL, 21 points ain't gonna win a season anymore unless your defense is top tier.
Right.
And right now their defense isn't even top tier.
Nope.
Right. This is facts.
So they have potential because it's a longer season now. I mean, there's an extra game added in and everything now. So they have potential to get wild card. But as for winning the division, in the division with the Chiefs and the Chargers, I don't think they're going to be fighting for a division spot.
Right. And shout out to the Chargers, by the way, who has been an utter disappointment thus far. Yeah.
That was some of y'all sexy Super Bowl picks.
You talking about me, y'all?
I'm just saying.
I really, really, really like that team, man. But they have been a disappointment thus far. But it's early. It's early.
Do you want to hear a crazy stat with that? Do you want to hear a crazy stat? I got a crazy stat. So it's between Herbert and Tua, same quarterback class. For Herbert, there's been 0 point in his career where he had a winning record as a starter. And you basically do the vice versa for Tua. Tua has always had a winning record when he's a starter.
Wow.
Just crazy stat, but
That is. And I think that, you know, a lot of people look at Justin Herbert as like a great, great, great talent, you know? And so, yeah, very interesting, guys. We will see how this turns out with the Las Vegas Raiders. Broncos tomorrow, the Chiefs next week. Then they got to buy the Texans, Saints, Jaguars. You know, you kind of look at this schedule, Jonathan. It ain't too bad, you know, like the Colts, the Jaguars. I mean, the Jaguars kind of surprising right now. The Broncos, the Seahawks, the Chargers, the Rams. Okay. The Patriots, maybe Mac Jones is back.
So if they want any chance, they need to do it now because by that time, everybody in the league is going to be actually playoff ready and playing like they wanted to go to the playoffs.
Yep.
Right. Yeah. Yep.
Wouldn't surprise me if they get a 9-8 record.
We'll see, man. We'll see.
so
All right, fellas.
quick
Go ahead.
comments.
Yeah.
Sorry. Quick comments. Prescott JV says Baker Mayfield can pass over 80% if the fate of the universe depended on it. Our boy Victor Young said, I guess in regards to the Raiders, they have the ability to rebound, but it needs to happen soon. So we all in agreement there. And then Deshaun said, is that my boy Jay Lee? Eye emoji. Yeah, we got him. We got him, D Reed. We got him.
Yes, sir, we did. Yes. And so yeah. Wow. I ain't even pay attention to these comments. Thanks, Jamar. Baker Mayfield can pass over 80%. Wow. And so yeah, he's on a tour though, Prescott JB. So who knows? He might be watching the Early Morning Sports Talk podcast. And if he's watching, he probably getting pissed.
Dude, Baker Mayfield is on his farewell tour.
He couldn't pass over 80% in a little league. Like he couldn't pass 80% in Pop Warner. So
do it. He's on his retirement tour, bro. That's it.
Wow, these are strong comments, man. Wow. And so yeah. All right, y'all. Let's get into these NFL picks. We got some big games tomorrow, man. It's some really, really good games going on tomorrow. The 2-1 Vikings at the Saints. The Vikings are 2-1, man, with empty calorie Kirk Cousins. And so just curious, Jamar, who you got, bro? Vikings or Saints?
I might have to pick the Vikings by default just because I don't think Jameis Winston's playing and Michael Thomas already ruled out. And that means they have to rely on somebody that we're familiar with, aka the Rusty Rifle at quarterback one more time.
Really? Okay, so they're not gonna start Taysom Hill. They're gonna start our boy, huh?
Oh, Taysom Hill, he done at quarterback. They put an end to that.
Not it.
Yeah,
It's
so
the Rusty Rifle tomorrow, huh?
the Rusty Rifle, one more shot.
Yeah,
One more
James
shot with the
Winston,
Rusty Rifle.
he's uncertain. Yep. Yeah.
So by default, I'm have to pick the Vikings. I just don't see it without, even with Jameis, you know, that team could be up and down. With the Rusty Rifle, I can't roll with a Rusty Rifle, man. I gotta pick empty calories on this one.
Right. And so yeah. All right. And who you got, bro?
I didn't know Jameis wasn't going to play, but I would have liked to see him play against Kirk Cousins because they both are kind of similar. You know, they up and down. You know, Kirk Cousins plays like Tom Brady one week and Aaron Rodgers. The next week, He throws 3 interceptions. You don't know what team he plays for, and they just lose. So, and Jameis is the same way. So I was hoping that they got to play against each other because I want to see who gonna be the one that don't play good, or it could have been potentially a shootout. You never know. So, I would like for the Vikings to lose for the sake of the Bears. The Bears fan to me, but I'll go Vikings. I'll go Vikings.
Yeah, Jonathan, who you got, bro?
I'm actually gonna go with the Saints on this one. I believe it's going to be a rush-heavy offense for the Saints. And Kamara and Mark Ingram are both going to potentially get close to 100 yards a game. I think they're going to both have a breakout game because they both started slow in the first 3 games.
Yeah.
So I believe Saints, if they win, it'll be by 3.
Okay. Yeah.
It'll be a close game.
Right. Yeah, with Rusty Rifle out there, man, who knows what to expect. But that could be dangerous sometimes, y'all. You got a guy out there just come out there one game, you know, and do something. But I'm going with the Vikings. I think the Vikings are just playing the Saints. That's all I'm gonna say about the Vikings. They just playing the Saints tomorrow, Rusty Rifle. So I'm gonna go with the Vikings on that one. Jamar, the Browns and the Falcons.
It's crazy because the Browns, but outside of a debacle in New York, I mean,
They could be 3-0.
yeah, that's crazy to me.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Yeah, I'm gonna have to pick the Browns. I feel like if anything, they can control the clock with the run game. Maybe they might minimize turnovers, and Jacoby Brissett, who was part of the check down Teddy tree, but he seemed to find Amari Cooper quite a bit. I think that's enough against this Falcons team. I don't believe in their defense outside of AJ Terrell, so I got the Browns.
Got the Browns.
Matter of
all
fact,
right.
Let me rephrase that. I got Brownie the Elf. That's what I got.
Brownie the Elf. That's the logo for the Browns, by the way, y'all. It's all over social media now. So, Ian, who you got, bro?
I got the Browns. I mean, I don't really believe in this Falcons team. I don't know what their direction is. I got the Browns. Nick Chubb have a big game.
Yeah. Okay, Jonathan, what about you, bro?
I think at this point, I'm just going to start choosing the other team that everybody you guys choose. Because I'm going with the Falcons on this one.
I'm thinking about the Falcons too. I think they're
I'm going with the Falcons on this one. Cordero Patterson's having a hell of a year.
He is, bro.
I mean, he's on the potential caliber of a Nick Chubb season, what Nick Chubb is doing.
Yep.
I mean, yeah, he's not getting the touchdowns, but he's getting them down the field. And when it comes to defenses at this point, between the two defenses, I mean, they're allowing a different amount of rushing yards. I mean, Atlanta's defense is only allowing about 100 yards a game. Nick Chubb's been running all over teams, though. So that's going to be an interesting matchup. But then on the other side, I mean, you have Cordero Patterson that, I mean, he has the potential to do the exact same thing that Nick Chubb's been doing to other teams. So, but then you have at this moment, I mean, I would trust Marcus Mariota's legs over.
Right. Yeah.
Over Mr. Brownie the Elf's legs.
But yeah, Jacoby Brissett.
I mean, I watched Jacoby. I mean, there's a reason he's not on the Colts.
Right. And so, yeah, man, this is a very interesting matchup. The Browns could be 3-1, but I like the Falcons. Jamar, I really like this team. This team is, they are dangerous. Let's put it that way. They're just dangerous. And it's just like that team that on one Sunday, they can just come out and they can just shock you. It's not like they get whooped. It's not like they always get thrashed. They are in their games all the time. And I like Marcus Mariota, y'all. I like him as a quarterback. Some people forget he was a pretty decent quarterback in Tennessee. He wasn't great. He made a lot of mistakes, but he was decent. He knew how to balance his runs with his passing, and that always made him just a very decent, good quarterback. The Falcons haven't been getting whooped, y'all. And they are in the Georgia Dome tomorrow. I actually like the Falcons in this one. I think it'll be a good game. But I think the Falcons might pull off an upset. I think they win by 3, y'all, by 3. Okay. The Bills and the Ravens. Check this out. Now the Bills, they're the best team in football, but they got a little rough schedule here, man. They had the Dolphins last week. Now they got the Ravens and Lamar Jackson tomorrow. So Jamar, if you picking the Ravens here, how are they the best team in football? That's just my question. And so you got to go with the Bills because you've been claiming that they're the best team in football.
You try to put us on the spot.
Dude, I swear, like, what did you own this morning, man? I see your diabolical plans and stuff. I see you. It's okay. Like with this one here, it's like kind of like picking between my children here, just because I said the Bills are the best team in football, but I also have the Ravens. I had them as one of my top 5 teams to get to the big dance too this year. Oh boy, this is tough, but this is gonna be. I can't wait to watch this game. Like I couldn't wait to watch last week's game with the Bills and Dolphins. I can't. I really can't wait to watch this.
Absolutely.
So I'm gonna go Baltimore. I'm picking Baltimore. Reason being, the Buffalo Bills secondary is a little banged up right now. They are. And the fact that you signed Xavier Rose the other day and then like yesterday he's ruled out this Sunday because of a hamstring injury. Like how you practice and hurt your hamstring and can't play Sunday and they just signed you to play Sunday. I
said the same thing. I'm like, damn,
like that lets you know he wasn't in game shape at all. Dude been watching games with us on TV on Sundays, bro. But
exactly.
Nah, look, like a lot of people got these two as top 2 for MVP between Allen and Lamar. Allen has his reasons for having a chip on his shoulder. Lamar has different reasons, but the same motivation. But I'm gonna take the home team on this one. I got Baltimore winning.
Yeah, it's a tough one, man. That's a tough one. And who you got, bro?
Yeah, it's a tough one. 2 MVP candidates. Both good ball players on both sides of the ball. Didn't the Ravens select? I mean, didn't they sign Jason Pierre-Paul this week?
They sure did.
Yep.
Yeah, he's playing that can't be good for Josh Allen. Man, this is tough.
So my question is, why are you deciding? Like, how does the Ravens sign somebody with 8 fingers and they able to play Sunday, but Buffalo signed somebody who was supposedly fully healthy and can't even play Sunday? I don't understand that. But go ahead. I just want to throw that out there.
And he's like, I know he's playing. They came out thoroughly and said, no, he's playing. I was like, were you guys talking in weeks prior? Has he been at practice already?
Right.
Like, bruh.
He said, come off the couch.
And he learned the playbook that quick. But
right.
Man, this is tough. I gotta stick to my guns. I think Lamar have a big game. I'll go Bills. Bills in the shootout.
All right.
Bills in the shootout.
Jonathan, you next, man.
I do believe it is going to be a shootout, and it's going to be a high-scoring game. I'm talking like 40-37 type game. But I think the Ravens are going to edge it out, and just because the defense on the Bills is looking a little rough right now.
Okay. Yeah. Wow. So 2-1. 2-1 here. The Bills are the best team in football, Jamar. And
They
so
are.
in this case, if they are, I'm gonna stick with Jamar stating that the Bills are the best team in football. So I'm gonna go with the Bills in a shootout. I don't see this being a 3-6 football game. I don't see that, like I don't see a 2-3 field goal. No. I see touchdowns. Lots of
We
them.
might have jinxed them though. Now we might have jinxed them though. Now.
Probably. I hope not, man. I hope I see a fun game that, we expect any football fan that watches football know that both of these teams can put up buckets on the scoreboard. And so I hope this is like a Kansas City and Buffalo divisional playoff game. I hope it's something like that. And so I will make sure I am watching. And I know it'll be a very fun game, but I'm gonna go with the Bills since my brother Jamar stated that they're the best team in football. And so if they're the best team in football, they got to go up to Baltimore and they got to take care of business. So I'm gonna go with the Bills. All right, Jamar,
Yo.
boy, man, he is on a revenge tour as well. Mr. Carson Wentz and his 1 and 2 Commanders are going down to the Big D to play your boy Cooper Rush, who is undefeated, man, as an NFL quarterback. And so is he staying undefeated or what, bro?
Look, man, I feel like Commander Carson, he's gonna rally these troops and they're gonna take an L in Big D. That's what's gonna happen. He's gonna rally these boys up.
I thought you
They
said
gonna
they was
lose.
gonna win.
I thought
They're
you
gonna lose. Look, it's just something about this Cooper Rush guy, man. It's like some guys just have a knack for winning, right? Yeah, I mean, we seen it in past. We seen Tim Tebow. I'm not saying he's Tim Tebow. I'm just saying Tim Tebow had a knack for winning when he was a quarterback, starting quarterback. I seen Cal Orton, his limited play sets, self win games. I don't know. Cooper Rush, he does it. He looks comfortable out there. He looks like he's familiar with the system. He looks like he doesn't really make too many mistakes out there. And I think that right there, coupled with Tony Pollard, because I feel like Ezekiel Elliott's days as a running back are not so hot these days. But anyway, I'm a believer in the Cowboys in this matchup here, and of course Micah Parsons. That's enough said. I mean, if Carson Wentz end up on his backside so many times, it was, I forgot, was it the Eagles that really like destroyed that man?
Yeah,
Eagles did that.
Corey Graham was all over Corey Graham. Yeah.
If Corey Graham could do it, I'm pretty sure Michael Parsons has no problem, or DeMarcus Lawrence, or Vander Leach, or whoever. So I got Dallas on this one somehow, some way.
Who you got, bro?
I think I'm gonna go Commanders. I like their offense. You know, Scary Terry, Anthony Gibson, rookie KJ Hamler. I mean, not KJ Hamler, Jahan Dotson. I got Washington.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah. All right, man. 1-1 on this one, Jonathan. Who you going with, bro?
As much as it pains me to say this, I gotta go with the Cowboys. I just have no hope or faith for Carson Wentz. I believe he's completely overrated. I've felt that way since Philadelphia. It made it worse when he went to the Colts.
Yeah.
But like Jamar was saying, Cooper Rush, I mean, he does have a knack for winning. I mean, he is undefeated. But
undisputed, baby.
it's sad to say that I will trust a rookie quarterback over Carson Wentz just because I don't like him. So I'm going to go with the Cowboys by at least 10.
Interesting. Very interesting. Yeah. Guys, I'm gonna go with, this is a hard game. This was a hard one, man. I just don't know what to expect from the Commanders. I'm still kind of being a dummy here and thinking that Carson Wentz, he's still a decent quarterback, but he's not. Oh man.
He's on his
Um,
farewell tour too.
He's on his
I mean, it's been on his
Um,
farewell tour for 3 years.
but he still keep getting jobs, man, for some weird reason. I'm gonna
Farewell.
go with the Cowboys as well. I'm gonna go with the Cowboys as well, but I wouldn't be surprised if the Commanders win because I chose the Cowboys.
Lastly, hashtag free Tony Pollard. Ezekiel Elliott goes somewhere else so Tony Pollard could run wild on my fantasy team. Hashtag free Tony Pollard. He is
Gotcha.
the better back.
Right. Yeah, Ezekiel, man, he like just been riding the waves. Like he hasn't done nothing since 2017. Nothing.
He hasn't done nothing since signing that huge contract.
It's
Yep.
facts. Nothing. Yeah,
I'll take
when
it.
He
when
got
you
paid
mentioned
and took a
Ezekiel-
nap.
Right.
Dude,
When you
like, sorry. Go ahead.
hey Jamar.
I was gonna say, how does your yards per carry go down steadily every year since you entered the league? Like how? How?
Yeah. When you mentioned Ezekiel Elliott, they just popped up in my mind immediately when you mentioned Ezekiel Elliott. I'm like, he hasn't really done much at all.
Dude,
Um,
the only thing he needs is one of them Salvation Army buckets. If he sees one of those, he probably have a good game. Other than that, that man's done.
on that note, y'all, check this out. The Seahawks or the Lions. My boy, man, in Seattle. He could actually be 2-2, or Matt Campbell and the Detroit Lions and Jared Goff, they could be 2-2. Somebody got to go on 2-2 tomorrow unless they time. So, Jamar, man, you stated that the Lions are a pretty good football team, and Ian, you stated that you're a fan of them at the Hard Knocks. Do the Lions take care of business at home against the Seahawks tomorrow?
Yes, they do. They do. Even without DeAndre Swift, even without Amon-Ra St. Brown, they both ruled out. Jamal Williams, like, he's a very underrated running back who gets the job done, even when he's splitting carries with DeAndre Swift. Jared Goff hasn't looked half bad. I mean, he's looked actually pretty decent. He so far this year. Lions still have pass catches out there. Josh Reynolds is underrated. TJ Hockenson is a pretty good tight end. They actually have a pretty good corner on their team as well, who's been locking down other teams' number one option. So,
Mhm.
I mean, DK might be in for a long day. He just might be based on this trajectory. But all in all, I mean, Seattle isn't good, period. So I'm taking the team that's more well-coached, more well-rounded. I'm taking the Lions.
So I want to take Seattle. I'm not gonna lie to you. With Detroit's injuries, but yeah, this is gonna be a biased pick. I'm gonna take Detroit. I'm gonna take Detroit.
One pride.
Yeah, bro.
Honestly, I'm going to take Seattle this game. And that's just because of the injuries. And yeah, Jamal Williams may have a breakout game, but I think it's going to be another San Francisco game that we just seen 11-10.
Possibly.
But I'm taking Seattle on this one. But don't get me wrong, I think the Lions are my sleeper pick this year. But I'm taking Seattle in this
Pick
one.
will just okay. But your sleeper pick will just be 1-3 and they'll lose to Seattle.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Because I think they're finally like this loss is gonna like get them in pace. Like they're gonna set it in stone. Like, all right, well, this is what we're doing wrong. Like it's week 4 already. Like we need to get it together. And I think this
Right.
loss is going to be their eye opener.
Right. Yeah. And so as Jamar and Ian knows, Detroit has been they've been giving me gifts, man. You know, like I've been getting just W's from them a whole lot, you know. And last weekend, Jamar, I told you guys what would happen, and it was just a tragedy with Detroit last weekend. It's a tragedy. They blew the game, they blew it, they gave it away. And so yes, I think the same thing happens tomorrow. I think something just happens in the air. I don't know, you know, Pete Carroll, I just see him jumping around, you know, and doing like this. And this is all I see in my head. And I just see Matt Campbell being upset, you know. And so I think as a result, Seattle, the terrible Seattle Seahawks find a way to beat the Detroit Lions because Detroit, they just find ways. They find ways. And so I'm gonna go with the Seattle Seahawks in this one because, as stated, Detroit has given me gifts for the last since the podcast has started.
You would never pick Detroit in a matchup. We know this.
I'm on my way though. I'm on my way.
No, you're not.
As I stated to you, if they win tomorrow, then I'm gonna start taking them serious, Jamar. I said that last week. So they got to prove it. So yeah. On the other hand, the 1-2 disappointing Chargers, they go to Houston tomorrow and play Davis Mills. Do the Chargers rebound tomorrow, Jamar?
Boy, oh boy. I feel like this is a trap game to a certain degree.
Really? Okay.
I mean, for two reasons. One, I mean, we all thought, you know, they would take care of business last week and got stumped across their own. They got stumped by Jacksonville.
Yeah, they got beat pretty bad.
And second, if I don't recall, I think last year, you know, they went against Houston and Houston beat them. I'm pretty sure that was last year. If not last year, it was the year before. I think it was last year. I'm gonna take the Chargers, but I don't have the warm and fuzzies on the inside because Houston's one of those things. They don't have nothing to lose. They don't. So they just gonna go out there and just, you know,
Play hard.
You know, play hard, live their best life. I mean, Brandon Cooks can go out there and probably have 200 receiving yards tomorrow for all I know.
Right.
I mean, it's possible. I mean, Houston has, you know, been in pretty much every game. It's not like they get blown out.
Right.
So I'm gonna take the Chargers based on good faith that they are supposedly this team that everybody say they are. That's why I'm taking the Chargers. There you go.
Wow. Yeah. Ian, bro.
The Texans haven't been getting blew out. But like Jamar said, I'm gonna take the Chargers based upon, you know, I think they should handle business, but you know, Texans have nothing to lose, so it could be a possible upset, but I'll take the Chargers.
Yeah. Jonathan, do the Texans pull off an upset tomorrow?
Yes, they do.
See?
Yes, they do. Joey Bosa is injured. Joey Bosa will not be playing, and that's going to hit him hard. I believe Herbert puts up a decent game, but I believe the Texans finally get their first win of the season.
I can kind of see it, man, because the Texans play hard. They play hard, but I'm gonna go with the Chargers just because I gotta go with the Chargers. I can't say that this team is Super Bowl bound and they go 1-3. So I want to put my foot in my mouth, but I know Jamar and are taking notes. They're like, I'm gonna remember this and I'm gonna bring this up.
That's why I picked it. I'm endorsing your pick right now. So if our pick doesn't pan out, I'm gonna be looking at you.
Exactly. So I have to go with the Chargers. This is a talented team and they gotta act like it. So I got the Chargers. I think they take care of the Texans tomorrow. They better. The Titans, bro, at the Colts. The Colts could be 2-1 tomorrow. The Titans can rebound. Which one happens, Jamar?
You basically asked me, do I trust Trasher Hill or Matt Ryan?
You gotta trust one of them.
Yeah, hey, what's the hashtag for the Colts? What's the hashtag for y'all team? I can't think of it, but what, horseshoe? I forgot. Anyway, I'm taking. I guess I'll take that 465 team this week. I'm gonna take them. I'm gonna take them. Tennessee. I mean, they have outside of last week against the Raiders, and we know the Raiders have their own debacle right now. Outside of that, Tennessee has shown me nothing.
Right.
Nothing. And once again, I go back to you traded AJ Brown because you didn't want to pay him, and you chose to stick with Ryan Trasher Hill. So therefore, I'm gonna take Jonathan Taylor and the Colts, the 465 team, and leave it at that.
Got you, bro. Ian, who you got, bro?
I don't believe in Ryan Tannehill. I never will. I just hope he throws the ball a lot to Robert Woods because he's on my fantasy team. But I'm taking
Treylon Burks.
I'm taking the Colts.
Yeah.
I will never pick against the Colts. I don't care if we're 0-16 playing against a 16-0 team.
So
I don't care.
appreciate your honesty.
Putting the high schoolers out there. The Colts are going to win this game by 3. I believe it's going to be a rushing attack from both teams because both their quarterbacks are trash.
Well, guys, how dare you guys disrespect King Henry and the Tennessee Titans and the culture that they built with Mike Vrabel and that wonderful defensive line and that wonderful defense. Okay, look what's happening, guys. My daughter's covering my mouth because she's agreeing with you, Jamar.
I know your name.
And so, with that being said, you guys, how dare you disrespect the Titans? The Titans do this every year. They start slow and then they rebound. So, as a result, I think the Titans are going to rebound like they always do. And I believe the Titans are going to come out physical tomorrow and they're going to take care of business. They'll be that Titans team that we know them to be. And so, I got the Titans, y'all.
Ice cream.
But check this out. The Bears, our Bears, y'all, our Chicago Bears, okay? They are going up against, stop it, there we go. They are going up against the New York Giants. And the New York Giants, y'all, are 2-1 as well. And so, as a result, check this out, y'all. We as the Bears got a chance, y'all, to be 3-1 tomorrow. This is like amazing. And so, Jamar, who you got, bro? Do you got the Bears or you got the Giants spoiling it tomorrow?
This is about to be an ugly game. Ugly. Like the Giants have one wide receivers out for the year. And Matt Eberflus don't even allow our quarterback to throw the ball to our number one wide receiver. So virtually we don't have a number one wide receiver right now. This man, Justin Fields, has less than 300 passing yards on the year. But bright side is I don't wish injury upon anybody. But there's no David Montgomery. That means Khalil Herbert gets to be the starter. That means Khalil Herbert, who is the better running back in my eyes, gets to actually be on display. Yeah, Khalil Herbert has the it factor. David Montgomery is just more so a value guy. He doesn't have that it factor. Khalil Herbert does. To me. Look, I'm gonna be biased. I'm taking my team. Maybe not to the extent that somebody will take their team no matter what, which I get, which I respect. I respect it. But I'm gonna take my team. I mean, it's an ugly game. I mean, that means you ask me, do I trust Daniel Jones more than Justin Fields? I trust my guy a little bit more if they, take the handcuffs off my guy and let him play. So I'm taking my team.
All right. Yes. Ian, who you got, bro?
I got the Bears. I mean, I'm not even gonna sit here and fake the funk. I got the Bears. Hopefully Kenny Galladay has a big day, but I got the Bears.
By the way, y'all, Ann went to grammar school with Kenny Galladay. And so got it. Said it again, Ann.
I just put him on my fantasy team. That's why I want him to have a good game.
Right.
Breakout game.
Kenny, y'all, there's a fellow Chicagoan, man. He's a Chicago guy, Southside. So Jonathan, who you got, bro?
Honestly, as much as I dislike the Bears, now just hear me out before you guys all jump down my throat. As much as I dislike the Bears because of their coaching, I believe Jamar is right. Until Justin Fields gets the handcuffs taken off of him, I'm going to go with the Giants on this one. And I think this loss is what's going to allow Eberflus to take the handcuffs off and be like, all right, now let's try it something else. But I think this loss is going to be vital for them simply for Justin Fields to actually become the player he needs to be to carry this team. So I'm going to go with the Giants on this one.
Deep.
I get that.
Yeah. For me, I'm gonna go with the Bears. Last year when I was at this game, Jamar, and you remember,
Yeah.
it was abysmal to watch. The Giants stunk up the joint. Maybe it was because it was really cold, Jonathan, and they just didn't want any parts. And then on top of that, Mike Glennon, he didn't deserve to be on the NFL field. He was out there playing. The Bears just dominated this team on every facet. Daniel Jones is nice, he is. But at the same time, he is terrible. He has little glimpses every now and then. But overall, he's a bad quarterback.
I don't think he's a bad quarterback. I just think he's
Bad quarterback. He is.
I think he's
You just
He's sneaky. Like he's like the sneaky type quarterback. And one day he just come out and you'd be like, wow, okay. Then most of the time he's like terrible. He's like, this guy should not be starting at this point. It's so funny.
No, because you said he's nice,
Did he?
then he's terrible. At the same
I know
time.
because that is who he is, y'all. It's like one day he's really nice and the next day he's like, what the hell is this? And so like
The O-line.
Oh,
They're terrible.
yeah.
it'd be so up and down with Daniel Jones. But I'm gonna go with the Bears, y'all. I think the Bears are a better team than the Giants. That's just that's just me. And I'm gonna go with the Bears because you stated that this team will be a surprise this year. And check this out: if they go 3-1 tomorrow, people are gonna be like, "All right, the Bears are 3-1," and so they got a really good chance to do that tomorrow against the Giants. So I'm gonna go with the Bears, y'all. Even though they're gonna be up in the Meadowlands. Check this out, y'all. The Jaguars. Okay, they are going up against the Eagles. Are the Jaguars for real, Jamar? At least tomorrow, are they going to? If they beat the Eagles tomorrow, it's going to be like, okay, the Jaguars might be for real. Is it going to happen though?
I mean, they have all the motivation in the world to win tomorrow, considering Doug Peterson is coming back to his former team. They do. With that being said, I do believe the Eagles will win. But it's not going to be – I don't think it's going to be an easy game, though. Just like last week, I didn't think the Jags and the Chargers, Chargers just cakewalk over, and apparently it was the other way around. No, I just think the Eagles are good. Eagles are, like, really good. So I'm going to take the Eagles, but I don't think it's going to be a blowout. I'll say that much.
Right. Yeah. And who you got, bro?
Jaguars upset.
Wow.
Jaguars
Hey.
giving their first loss. I love the Eagles, but I'll take the Jaguars in the upset. Big game for Trevor.
I too am going with that Jaguars upset.
What?
And I mean, they're just shocking everybody. And they are my AFC sleeper, as much as it pains me to say it.
See, I think Brandon views the Jags like he views the Lions, so I don't think he fully understands how good these teams are compared to last year.
I really, bro, you took the words out of my mouth. You must know me very well. I just no, not yet, not yet. They're going up against the Eagles in Philly. I think the Jags go into Philly and they get Philly cheesesteak. I'm going with the Eagles.
That's funny.
I'm going with the Eagles, man. Yes, sir. The Jets, bro, at the Steelers. The Steelers can rebound tomorrow, man. They're going up against Joe Flacco tomorrow, but you think Joe Flacco got it in him to beat Mitchell Trubisky?
There's no Flacco. There's no Flacco.
There's no Flacco tomorrow. Okay, wow. So who's starting then?
The season debut of Zach Wilson. He's back.
Okay.
Disney Channel quarterback Zach Wilson.
Okay. Disney
The
Channel.
stadium's going to be
Also-
filled with Cougars.
Yep. Also known as Stifler's Mom Part 2, Zach Wilson. But is Deshaun watching? Deshaun, you there? Deshaun, you there? Because I am tempted to pick the Jets here. I am. I'm talking myself into doing it. I am. I'm doing it. I'm picking the Jets. Deshaun, don't be
Got
mad
the
at me.
Jets.
I got the Jets, and I might be very, very out of bounds here, but I feel like Pittsburgh can't stop the run. I think Breece Hall is going to have one of those games that, like, this is the reason why we drafted you as high as we did. Garrett Wilson has been phenomenal. They drafted him as high as he did, and he's showing up. Elijah Moore, his favorite quarterback, is back. I think he's going to have a big game. I mean, and then also on the flip side, it's like the Steelers' offense is a little anemic here. I mean, all the players hate their offensive coordinator. That hasn't changed. So I'm taking the Jets and upset here.
Yep. And who you got, bro?
Steelers. Mitchell Trubisky throws 3 to 5 touchdowns.
3 to 5 picks.
Jonathan, who you got, bro?
I'm going to have to go with the Steelers on this one simply because a lot of it wasn't Mitchell last week. A lot of it was drop passes from the receivers. The ball hitting off their hands and they just couldn't hold on to it. I believe they corrected that in practice this week, and I'm going to have to go with the Steelers on this one.
Yeah, very good memory, man, because we talked about that last Saturday. We sure did. We sure did. And so, it's not like the Steelers team has been getting whooped, y'all. They've been in games. They're Mike Tomlin coach team. I'm gonna go with the Steelers tomorrow. I believe in Mike Tomlin. I believe in his system. So I think that will result in the Steelers winning that game tomorrow. The Cardinals at the Panthers. Baker Mayfield, he could be 2-2. But he's going up against Kyler Murray. So who you got, Jamar?
I don't trust either one of these quarterbacks. I'm just putting it out there. I don't. But I'm going to take the team that has a better defense, is not as injured. I'm going to take the Panthers. I'm taking Carolina. I feel like the Arizona Cardinals offense without DeAndre Hopkins is already in shambles. But when you also add no AJ Green, Hollywood Brown may not play either, and if that happens, I don't know who they're throwing the ball to besides Greg Dortch. So I don't know, or Zach Ertz. But more importantly, I'm taking Carolina here. I got Carolina.
And wait, Jamar, but you saying you don't trust Kyler Murray?
I don't. Now I don't trust Kyler Murray without DeAndre Hopkins. I don't. And it took a crazy comeback 2 weeks ago for them to have to win. Otherwise, they're winless. I don't trust it.
Right. And bro, who you got?
I know.
Go ahead, Jamar. You gonna finish?
No. Go ahead.
This one is a tough one. I love my Panthers, but Baker Mayfield is just not it. He ain't it. He's not in my Shannon Sharp voice. He's not that guy. Yeah. But they have so much talent. Ah, but I love Kyler Murray. I'm gonna take. Shit, this is tough. I'm gonna take the Cardinals. I just don't believe in Baker. I don't believe in him. I'm taking the Cardinals.
Yeah, Jonathan, who you got, bro?
So Jamar, that's the difference between me and you. I don't trust Kyler Murray with DeAndre Hopkins. Like, I'm going Panthers on this one. I don't trust Kyler Murray at all. I believe he's highly overrated.
It's the Kyler Murray thing.
And a crybaby.
He does cry. He does cry. He does cry often. Yeah. Wow. Y'all got some strong opinions here, man. I don't trust Baker Mayfield.
Apparently, we all got
go
trust
with the
issues this morning.
Cardinals.
We all got trust issues. I get it.
Exactly. We all got trust issues this morning, man. I do not trust Baker Mayfield, man. So I gotta say, who do I trust more? I gotta take I trust Kyler Murray more in this situation. So yeah, I'm gonna go with the Cardinals, man. I think the Cardinals are still a good football team, y'all. Let me ask you this, Jamar. Is Connor playing tomorrow?
I believe so. I'll
Yeah,
double check
so-
that. I believe so, though.
Okay. And so yeah. But I can double check it as well, my bro. And so yeah, but regardless of the fact, I think the Cardinals are the better team. So I'm gonna go with the Cardinals. Because I gotta ask you now, Jamar. Do the Mac Jones Patriots, do they take care of business tomorrow up in Lambeau against the great Aaron Rodgers?
Jesus,
we
man.
all-
Keep it moving.
Yeah, we all agree exactly, my brother. We all shook our head. Yes, we are all going with the Packers, man. All right, let's talk about the Broncos and the Raiders. And so the Broncos, they're going up against a winless Raiders team, man. And so Jamar, do the Raiders bounce back tomorrow or they go 0-4?
Oh, we riding? We riding?
Okay. Going with the Broncos, huh?
I can't ride this week. I gotta take the
Oh,
Raiders.
Jamar.
At us
I
again.
I can't do it. I gotta take the Raiders. I can't.
Okay.
Until that offense gets some type of cohesion, some type of consistency, until the play calling gets better. I can't do it. And then not to mention the Raiders are desperate. Their backs against the wall here. So they're gonna come out with their best game.
Fighting for
I
your
got the Raiders.
motherfucking life.
Yeah. Seriously.
And who you got, bro?
I mean, I kind of agree with Jamar. Their offense has been horrible, and Jerry Jeudy, he's on my fantasy and killing me. He had that one long touchdown against the Seahawks, and he's been non-existent ever
It's
since.
been Cortland Sutton, man.
All right, I'm like, is that the only person he gonna throw the ball to?
Man.
I had to go with the Raiders because I don't know what we're gonna do with the offense. I don't know. I don't know what they're doing in Denver.
Yeah. Jonathan, what about you, bro?
Like I stated earlier, I think the Raiders need to win this game because I don't think they're going to beat the Chiefs next week. So with that being said, they need to win this game for any chance at a playoff spot later on.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah, I'm with y'all, man. I'm gonna go with the Raiders as well. I think the Raiders, they are desperate, man. They lose tomorrow against the Broncos.
Woof.
That's gonna just be really bad for them overall. Because people are gonna be like, really, the Raiders? We had y'all as a really good team. And so yeah. All right, I'm going with the Raiders as well, guys. The Chiefs, though, they are at the Buccaneers, man. This could be a good one. This is Sunday night, too. National game. Jamar, who you got, man? The Chiefs or the Bucks?
Man, this is probably the last time we'll see Mahomes and Brady going against each other. Brady, 2-0 against them.
Yep.
Beat them in 2 pivotal games, one AFC championship game, one the actual big game.
Super Bowl.
Yeah, man. See, Patrick Mahomes know how it feels to go against Tom Brady with a bad offensive line, don't he? We saw it.
Oh, how the table.
Yeah. Yeah, tables
Right.
turned. I got Kansas City. And there's no disrespect to Tom Brady himself, but I think Patrick wants this one really bad. So I got the Chiefs.
Yep. Ian, who you got, bro?
I gotta agree with Jamar. I think Pat get it back in blood. I think it might even, I don't know, their defense is pretty tough. It could possibly even be a blowout.
Ooh.
Possibly.
Yeah, Jonathan, man, who you got?
Just piggyback off of what Jamar said about him being 2-0. He's 2-0 in the playoffs. Mahomes is Brady is 3-2 against Mahomes. I believe that Mahomes evens out their record in winning. So I'm taking the Chiefs. But it's going to be an ugly game for Tom. Like, Tom's going to have the chance to make a comeback later on in the fourth. We all know that's going to happen. I don't think it's going to be a blowout, but I believe he does find the turf quite often this game.
Yeah. If the Bucks lose, correct me if I'm wrong, guys. The Bucks lost at home last week to the Packers, right? They were at home, right?
Yes.
Correct.
Yeah. So imagine the Bucks going 0-2 at home thus far. That'd be rough. And so they likely will go through that, I believe. Though I got the Chiefs. I can't pick against Patrick Mahomes. I'm just a sucker for Patrick Mahomes. I'm gonna go with the Chiefs, man. I think the Chiefs, they put a whooping on the Bucks tomorrow. The Rams, y'all, at the 49ers. Jimmy G. Only problem is he going up against the Rams, but they are at home, Jamar. These two teams, they battle it out quite often. Who you got for this divisional matchup?
Me and a coworker was talking about this game yesterday. Like, it's tough. This one is tough. Because the Rams are definitely not the Rams from last year. And they're not even close. Not even close. I mean, they're
Von
still
Miller
talented. Yeah. Still very talented, but it's just not the same. Just not. With that being said, I will for sure taking the 49ers on this one. I'm taking the Niners, because if anything, their defense still keeps them in games. I'm rolling with your boy Jimmy G, because I don't think he'll make too many mistakes here in this particular game. I don't think he will. Now Stafford, on the other hand, Mr. Turnover prone guy this year. I don't know about that one, but I'm taking the Niners.
Gotcha. Ian, who you got, bro?
Big game from Matt Stafford, Cup, and those receivers. I got the Rams.
Yeah. Jonathan, who you got? Rams or the Niners?
One of my best friends is probably going to kick my butt for doing this, but I got to go with the Rams.
Yeah. Go ahead.
It's just more so simply that Niners line needs Bosa. They need him back. And I just don't trust the way the offense is being coached right now. I believe that the Rams will make mistakes, but their offense will finish more times than the Niners will.
I'm going with the Rams as well. Rams are too talented. I don't think they'll lose this game. The Rams are 2-2 tomorrow. It's going to be another eye awakening because it's going to be like the Rams with all that money y'all spent, all that talent y'all got, y'all 2-2. So yeah, I'm gonna go with the Rams. I think the talent is just far too much greater. The LA market, man, they just buy stuff. They buy whatever the hell they want. And so they bought another great roster. So I'm gonna go with the Rams. And so yes, world, that concludes our NFL picks for this morning. We will leave you guys with some updates this morning before we do our final thoughts and shout outs. Some notable college football games. To Alabama at 20 Arkansas, y'all. So be on the lookout for that one. Great SEC showdown. Big 12 showdown. Number 9, Oklahoma State at number 16, Baylor. ACC showdown. 22 Wake Forest at 23 Florida State. SEC showdown, y'all. Kentucky, y'all, not the basketball team. The football team is ranked number 7 in the country, and they got a quarterback, y'all, that is viewed by many as potentially the number 1 overall pick. They are up against number 14, Ole Miss. Number 4, Michigan is at Iowa. And so just that's a Big Ten showdown. And so be on the lookout for those games, y'all. Additionally, bad news, guys. It has been noted that neither Jonathan Abernathy's Chicago Cubs or our Chicago White Sox will be going to the playoffs for the 22 season. And so it's maybe next year for all of us. And so we'll see how the White Sox rebound with getting a new manager, because Tony La Russa, it has been noted this week, will not return as the manager of the Chicago White Sox. And so with that occurring, the Chicago White Sox will have to find a new manager. And as time progresses, we will talk about the Chicago White Sox, and we will get an update on how things are going specifically within that organization on finding a new manager. Lastly, we want to say congrats to Aaron Judge. Aaron Judge has done something fantastic, guys. He has tied Roger Maris on hitting 61 home runs in a season. And guess what, Jonathan? He is 1 home run shy for holding the MLB regular season record for home runs. Now, I know 61 home runs might sound a little weird for some people out there, but keep in mind that those previous records have been erased from the record books because of steroid usage from great guys that I viewed as great, but I don't know if we can even call them great, because growing up, we all wanted to be like Sammy Sosa. We all wanted to be like Mark McGwire. We all wanted to be like Barry Bonds. When we played baseball on the street in front of the sewer with a softball, when we hit the ball far, we used to do the skip like Sammy Sosa and stuff. But these guys, they cheated. And so Aaron Judge, it looks like he ain't cheating, Jonathan. And so I'm curious, bro. How do you feel about this, man? Is this a big deal? Being that, you know, he's doing it the right way. How do you feel about this feat? And will he actually break this feat of 62 before the end of the regular season?
I believe he'll get 62. But no matter if they erased it or not, we all seen what Barry did. We all seen what Sammy and Mark did. At the end of the day, they are what saved baseball.
Facts.
If you ask any player from that time who is the most difficult batter they've ever faced, 90% of them will say Barry.
Right.
Regardless of if he was on steroids or not, you still have to hit the ball.
Yeah.
To top that off, they didn't have testing for steroids back in the Babe Ruth era. I mean, hell, there was a drug that's illegal now that was in almost every medicine you can think of.
Mm-hmm.
You can't tell me that none of these guys were doing anything. I mean, we all see the liquid courage that makes you stronger when you're drinking. Like, I mean, half these guys were drinking, but you still have to hit the ball.
Right.
The fact that Barry is not in the Hall of Fame, the fact that Mark is not in the Hall of Fame, like, it's atrocious. Like, half these guys should be in the Hall of Fame regardless. They saved baseball.
They saved it.
Yep.
Yeah.
If it was not for them in the 90s, baseball would not, it would be literally like freaking
Soccer.
dodgeball. Yeah, like it'd be dodgeball, the movie.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
So let's be realistic. Like, no matter if they erase it from history, we all still know what happened.
Right.
And regardless, to hit 73 home runs in a season with 225 intentional walks in a season.
That's impressive.
Yeah. I mean, Barry's got 2,500 walks in his career.
It's crazy. And that's probably come from his last 5-6 years
Yeah.
in the league.
Yeah.
Right.
And so the fact that they're saying like, oh, well, this is the record. See, American League record, yeah. But we all know the National League record is still 73, regardless of if they erase it or not.
Yep.
So
Right.
don't get me wrong. I believe that Aaron Judge statistically is having the greatest offensive season ever. He is
Yeah.
leading in every stat, not just in the American League. He's doing it in the majors.
Right.
He's in first place in every statistical offensive stat except batting average right now because he's losing by like 1 point. But at the same time, the American League record, cool. He's doing it. He's a Yankee. Cool. He's breaking Roger Maris's record. That's dope. But the fact that people discredit everything Barry did, everything Mark did, everything Sammy did, everything Roger Clemens did, everything all these great players that we watched growing up did, it's frustrating.
Yeah.
Because we can't go back to the 30s and the 40s and say like these guys weren't doing nothing.
Right. Because they were.
Oh yeah.
They were. Absolutely. And so yes, congrats to Aaron Judge on even reaching Roger Maris. But I feel you, bro. I definitely feel you. And we'll see how things progress with this record. Hopefully he gets it. It'd be great to see it. It'd be great to watch. It'd definitely be great to watch. And so we will next weekend where we will be talking decent amount about baseball. We'll spend about a few minutes on it because the playoffs are approaching. And so with the playoffs approaching, we're going to make some picks. We're going to talk about some baseball because it is the most wonderful time of the year in baseball. And so, yes, shout out to our brother, Aaron Judge over in New York doing big things. Team USA women's basketball, they played China today. I don't know what the results were. Maybe one of you guys can get the results for Team USA versus China. I just know that they have been doing pretty good in the WNBA, and they are in the FIBA Basketball World Cup, and they're in the championship.
They crushed China.
I figured. And so, yes, what was the score?
The score was, I'm not even seeing the final score. I know they were leading at halftime by 10.
Okay. Yeah.
68-47 leading into the home stretch.
Okay.
That's all I'm seeing.
So 68-40. Okay, it's probably not over with, but regardless of the fact, we know that
77-63. Sorry, 77-63 was the
we
final
know
score.
that okay, thanks, bro. We know that basketball is dominated by America everywhere. Over here in France, Jonathan, they want to be like the Americans in basketball. They just can't, like Americans just got that competitive advantage with it, man. And so it does not surprise me that they took care of business. And so, yes, with that being said, world, that covers our conversation this morning here on the Early Morning Sports Talk podcast. One thing we do, Jonathan, as we head into the weekend is we ask for final thoughts and shout outs. And so since you are our guest, we just want to ask you if you can give us any final thoughts or shout outs as we head into the weekend.
No, I mean, just appreciate you guys for having me on. I'm going to correct myself on this final score. It was 83-61 was the final score. Sorry I was late, but I appreciate you guys for having me on.
Yes, thank you for joining us, my brother. Appreciate it. Yes, sir. Jamar, bro, any final thoughts or shout outs as we head into the weekend?
Absolutely. Definitely want to give a shout out to Jonathan Abernathy. Also, we know him as Jay Lee. I've been knowing this man for 15 plus years now. No, just watching the transformation of this brother over the years. I mean, the fact that I've known him and he's been in my life, and I appreciate you so much. I'm glad you stopped by. This guy is a Twitch streamer with Call of Duty and different games like that.
Yeah, you look like a gamer, man. I'm seeing a keyboard. I'm seeing the headphones. I'm like, I know he be getting it in, dog. Like, I know he be getting it in quick.
But yeah, all in all, man, thank you for stopping by, and you're definitely welcome anytime, bro.
For sure.
Bro, any final thoughts, shout outs we head into the weekend?
Big prayers out to Florida and South Carolinas. Hurricane Ian, which is crazy. That's my
Right,
name.
that's his name.
Yeah, that's a hell of a name. But yeah, just prayers out to, you know, we got friends, family, everybody, you know, down there. It's pretty tragic down there. Pretty crazy right now down there.
Yeah, definitely. I'm not too far from Florida, y'all, and yeah, it's going down there for sure. So yeah, prayers for that. Jonathan, bro, thank you for joining us. We ain't necessarily worried about you being late. You came in, you blessed us with your presence, our energy level, our views went up when you came on. So we appreciate you, dog. We appreciate you chopping it up with us this morning. It's been a pleasure. Appreciate you guys. We covered a lot this morning. And so, yes, we went far over time this morning, but sometimes that will happen. And so, yes, appreciate you guys. World, be safe out there. Put the guns down, put God first. And remember that with God, all things are possible. Thank y'all for chopping it up with us this morning. And thank you for chopping it up with us in the future. May you all have a blessed weekend and peace.